Welcome back to Access Anime. I'm Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough review of Fairy Tail episode 159. Now, if you remember from last episode, the Grand Magic Games have started. Now, moving on past that, we see the opening ceremonies. Now, we are introduced to all 8 of the teams that will be competing in the Grand Magic Games, including Fairy Tail Team A and Fairy Tail Team B. Ironically, they now have an edge in the Grand Magic Games, or at least we think. Now, we actually are introduced to the first competition of the first day. Now, I should point out each day we have a competition part and we have a battle part, so it makes it kind of interesting. Now, the competition for the theme for the first day is called Hidden. Now, we know nothing about Hidden other than it's like hide and go seek, and it's got different rules. Now, again, it's not like hide and go seek because it has different rules. Now, the winner, ironically, is Sabretooth, so they're already in first place. Now, we do see Juvia and Gray from Fairy Tail competing as well, and they are competing against each other since it's a competition. Now, they're being taken out by Raventail. Now, I have no idea why Raventail is targeting them, but, we can all draw our own conclusions in general because of Ivan being related to Markov. That may be one of many reasons, payback being another reason, of course, but I digress. Moving on. Now, after the competition is over, we do see Gray. He's taking it out on himself that he lost, that he let Fairy Tail down, and that he let Raventail get to him. So he is really pissed. I mean, pissed off beyond belief. This is the most pissed off I've ever seen him get within a series, within this series in general. But moving on past that, we're introduced to the battle part. Now again, we see Fairy Tail. They pick Lucy. I didn't see that coming right away, but she is fired. She's all fired up. So I'm interested to see where she's going to go with being fired up. But moving on, we do find out Raventail. They pick Flare. Now, I know nothing about Flare, but I like how psychotic she is. I hate her attitude, but I like how she looks and presents herself. I don't necessarily like her sneakiness, and I don't know, she's got like this poor piss-ass attitude, but I like how psychotic she is. And I usually don't say that, but I'm going to say that for her character. But again, that was last episode, and this is a new episode, so let's dive right in. And again, I'll hold my final thoughts on my rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned, but let's dive right in. Now, we open up this scene with Gray. So nothing new, we're exactly where we left off with. Now we see Gray, he's hitting the wall, and he wants revenge against Raventail. It's that obvious. I mean, he says it, you see a wall being broke with his hand, he's taking it pretty seriously. Now moving on past that, we see Mavis and the Exes from Fairy Tail. And they're kind of just going over the rules, somewhat, more or less the point system, where everyone's at, point-wise. I'm not going to go over that in general, other than the points are still going to be the same, 10 points for the winner, 0 points for the losers, and if it's a tie, 5 by 5. So that's the point system, nothing's really changed. And moving on past that, we're introduced to the pumpkin guy, and he's going over the battle part. Come on, it's that obvious. This episode, they're going to be in a battle, so obviously we're going to go over more rules. But sadly, there are no rules, really. He doesn't go over anything new. There's no little uniqueness about this frickin' battle. I mean, I thought he was going to make it interesting. There's the arena, everyone's in the middle, just Lucy and Flare, and they're ready to go. And he just explains to them, it's going to be 30 minutes long, and if you knock your opponent out, you win. That's it? I was expecting more, I'm sorry. I mean, you made Hidden so unique. Now, looking at this common battle, I'm kind of let down just a little bit. It lost its uniqueness, but sorry, I digress. Moving on, now we do see Lucy. She's the first one to make her move. Now, she calls off Taurus and Scorpio. That was her first celestial spirit she calls out together, so that's kind of interesting. She's got 2 out, but it doesn't really go anywhere because we do see Flare. She uses her hair dog Wolf Fang with her hair. I was like, wow. At first I'm like, I don't like people that use their hair for that kind of technique, but the way she progressed and she called her hair out and it transformed, I'm giving her points. That was worth watching. But sadly, Lucy, she calls out Cancer, her crab. Scissors does her hair. Perfect. This is the one time where this character, I can say, hands down, was worth seeing, because finally, the scissors comes in handy. But moving on past that, we do see Flare, and she's going after Lucy's legs. I don't know why, but she does. I'm guessing she's trying to make her paralyzed or something, but all her hair does is just rip the boots off of her feet in general, so nothing special there. Now we do see Blue Pegasus. We do a little cutscene, we see Blue Pegasus, and they're making commentary about Lucy, how stronger she's gotten, and how better she was versus what she used to be before the time skip, so she's a lot stronger. I'm like, at least they have positive things to say about her, because right now I've got nothing but negative things to say about her, because she's lazy in my opinion. She's not doing anything. She has other characters do her own work for her, because she's a celestial wizard. To me, that's probably one of the laziest things you can be, because you're not doing anything. But it does get better. Kind of. We do see a different scene. We see Flare, and she's playing a dirty trick on Lucy. She's getting dirty. This is probably the lowest you can go within an honest game. She has her hair go like underneath the sand, I guess, and it goes all the way to where the Fairy Tale Guild is like being the spectators are looking at them, and her hair gets right behind Asuka. And Asuka doesn't know about it. None of the Fairy Tale members know about it. But right now, Raventail has her hostage with Flare's hair, and Flare is telling Lucy, if you don't stop using your magic, if you don't let me kick your butt, I'm basically gonna take out Asuka and anyone else that gets involved. So she's blackmailing. Well, I don't know if that's the right word to use. She wasn't really blackmailing, but she's really getting under Lucy's skin. She can't really perform now. Lucy can't do anything because she's being. If she does do something, well, Asuka's probably gonna die. So she's now backed up into a corner. So this has got interesting. Now we are taken to a different scene. We see a guy called Captain of the Guards. We don't really know his name. He's just being referred to as the Captain of the Guards. Now he's saying Lucy. Well, I don't know if he's talking directly to Lucy or Flare from a distance, but he is saying something about one of these two characters being ripened. I have no idea what he means by that, but he goes on to say it's just what Lord Zareth. Like, wait, he said something about Zareth? So now we know what side he's on. So Zareth definitely has something to do with the Grand Magic Games, and this Captain of the Guard is probably in league with Zareth in general. And we also see him go off and he says something about this may be accomplished this year. And again, I have no idea what he meant by this may be accomplished this year. He's just going off small broken sentences that we have to piece together to make sense out of this. All we need to know is that it has something to do with Zareth, and he's on Zareth's side, probably. That's all I got out of it, to be honest. But sorry, I digress. Now we do see Markov. He has this weird, I call it his tingly spider sense feeling, you know, because I guess the word Zareth was mentioned, and he didn't overhear Zareth's name, but I guess he's like has a feeling that someone's talking about him. But, you know, he shrugs it off, and, you know, Fairy Tale Guild members were making fun of his age. He's like, it must be your age. But, you know, moving past that, that was not really worth watching, in my opinion. We do see Lucy, and she's about to give up. She says, I give up, and it stops there. Before she can even complete a sentence, we see Flare, hair around Lucy's mouth, like, it's not going to be that easy. You're going to be in pain, you're going to lose, but you're going to lose on my terms. This is on my terms, bitch, not yours. So Flare is stepping it up in a bad way. She doesn't even want to lose. She wants to win her own way. She doesn't want to have Lucy lose her way, if you get what I mean. So now Lucy's just being tortured in so many ways. It's not even funny. I'm just putting that out there. And it kind of makes you feel a little disgusted with what's actually going on right now. Because you see, I don't know how to explain this, but we do see, I don't know how to explain it. Flare, she's calling Lucy a bimbo. All these words coming out of her mouth, and that's all I can really remember is her calling her a bimbo. I'm sorry. That was probably the funniest thing I've ever heard Lucy being called, and yet there was no reaction. Now we do actually see Natsuo in the crowd. He actually has been overhearing all of this, everything that's going on, and I think he was about to jump into the frickin' arena. That's not what he did. He sees Asuka and he destroys the little hair that was behind her, and he saves Asuka in general. And then he like yells out to Lucy, "What are you waiting for? Take her out. You're good." I'm like, man, you just ruined it. Natsuo, you're no fun, man. I'm sorry. You are no fun. But moving on past that, we do see Lucy. She calls out Gemini, and we see something called an 88 star of the heavens technique she uses. And it's not really that interesting in my opinion. The graphics were horrible. Some technique. I was expecting something else in my opinion. Now, then she says open, and then we see Yurno. I think it's Yurno Miera. That's what she ends up saying. And we finally, it looks like a huge technique. She's going all Super Saiyan. She's got the whole glow going on, and the crowd's all riveting. They're all excited. And then she just collapses. I'm like, what? That's your technique? That's your technique? You call Gemini out and he clones you, or both Gemini, they clone you, and now you got two Lucys on the field, and you go to a super technique you have, and you just pass out on the field? What? I didn't understand that. Now, apparently Flare looks up to her teammates from the crowd, and she notices Obra probably did something. Now, we don't know who Obra is. Manga-wise, yes we do. Anime-wise, no, we do not know who he is. So Obra, he has something to do with why Lucy couldn't use her magic. It's been drained all of a sudden. So Raventail, yet again, has cheated. So Lucy is now down for the count, and she's out. But you know, it's kind of interesting. Yajima, he notices this. Not notices it in general, like Raventail cheating, but he knows something's up. He's like, something's up. It's like a weird feeling. You know, he looks weird. He's like, something can't be right. But he doesn't say anything, though. That's all I'm saying. But Yajima definitely notices something. But again, Raventail cheated, but no one notices except for the Fairy Tail members, obviously. But that's about it. And of course, a couple of the different teams that are competing, they noticed as well. Of course, you know, Blue Pegasus, they noticed as well. But moving on past that, we see the judge, and he does make the announcement. Raventail wins. You know, Fairy Tail loses. It was that obvious. And all I can say is it leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth, because we finally see Flare. She is scared as hell because she's about to lose, and yet she ends up winning. So that was kind of a waste in my opinion. But again, I do like Flare's psychotic side. It's kind of interesting in my opinion. Moving on, we do see Natsuo jump down to the arena and comfort Lucy, which this kind of got a couple points in my opinion, because we see a little light emotional side. And again, we see, you know, Lucy, she's crying. She can't believe she lost. She can't believe she let Fairy Tail down. This is another loss, and they still have 0 points. And again, she's saying she's sorry, and Natsuo is comforting her. And he's like, it's okay. It's okay. Because you know what? Now that we have 0 points, it makes it even better when we win. We are the underdogs. I mean, he's got this positive attitude. It's like, just when everyone's counted us out, that's when we're going to jump back in and win. So again, that's where the actual episode ends, by the way. Now, for final thoughts, moving on, I'm going to have to say there's a lot of things that have gone unanswered, like Obra. We don't know who you are and what your power is, your magic. So how are you able to drain Lucy? Also, Raventail, why are you going after Fairy Tail in general? I mean, we know, you know, father and son, you know, Ivan and Marco. I got that. And I know you guys want payback, but is there like some other reason? And how did you actually get into the Grand Magic Games? You're a Dark Guild. You're not good. You're bad. So I'm still puzzled about that. Now I'm also interested to know about more of this Captain of the Guards. Your name, maybe if you have magical powers or not, and how are you connected with Zeref? Just putting that out there. And I'll put one more final thought. We still don't know who's going to be in the next battle, the next matchup. So I'm interested to know about that as well. But again, that ends it for my final thoughts. As per my rating for this episode, I gotta give this a 3.5 out of 5. I know some people may give it a 4. I feel a 3.5 out of 5 is solid only because there really was no drama. I guess there was some if you consider how Flare was talking to Lucy, how it got really to that extent, and how Natsuo was comforting, you know, Lucy. But I wasn't feeling it. As for the battle, I was let down because it wasn't drawn out. It was very weak in my opinion, and I didn't like it. Plain and simple. So I had to give this a 3.5 out of 5. In my opinion, I should give this a 3 out of 5. And someone else probably might say, well, I might give it a 4 out of 5. I'm not a Lucy fan. I'm sticking to my guns. 3.5 out of 5. But again, that ends it for my rating. Now, definitely comment down below. Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe above. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the next episode as well. Definitely check me out on Twitter and follow me if you like. But again, that ends it for my walkthrough and review of Fairy Tail episode 159. And again, I still have 3 more walkthroughs and reviews to do today. Later on, if I don't get to them, definitely stay tuned for tomorrow morning. But again, that ends it for now. And before I go, I gotta say it. Can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.